The question of the season, where's my refund? Well, let's talk about the earned income tax credit payment schedule. Who could receive the earned income tax credit this week? Are you in that number? And if you haven't filed your taxes already, consider checking out the link in the description. I think you'll thank me later. So these are the EITC payment dates according to the IRS guidelines, depending on when you filed, of course. And let's just go through it verbatim. So workers and households with low or moderate incomes have the opportunity to receive the earned income tax credit benefits. Now, let me pause right there. It says workers with households or households with low or moderate incomes have the opportunity to receive earned income tax credit. Now, this is either you earned a low income or you qualify for earned income because you had so many tax deductions. So sometimes a person that may make a good income can position themselves to qualify for this if they qualify with the amount of tax deductions that they have. Very important, especially with people not understanding the tax deductions that come with having a business, a home business or online business. If you incorporate tax deductions with that, you can lower your tax liability and position yourself for earned income tax credit. But just be mindful, if you're trying to buy a home sometime soon and you lower your taxable income, then you will be affected based on the fact that you looking to have a low income may position you to not qualify for a certain home. Just so you can understand the importance of knowing when is best to lower your taxable income and when you may not want to based on certain things. But it's power in tax deductions. I love them, but I just wanted to point that out. So let's keep going. So to obtain the tax exemption through a reduction in taxes owed and apply for a refund, which they may receive during tax season, which began on January 27th and will end April 15th. Of course, people will be filing longer than that, those who file extensions, but April 15th is the main cutoff because it's the deadline for those who have to pay in taxes and then the fees that may come along with it. So to claim the EITC, the taxpayer must claim it on their federal tax return. So make sure you're doing that if you're filing it yourself or if someone is filing it for you. And if you haven't filed already, check out the link below. I believe it'll help you get your refund faster, put money in your pocket, etc. So the law prevents the IRS from issuing the EITC refunds before mid-February. Well, we're past that time, so we can proceed. But because of this, if you requested this refund in early days of tax season, the payment should have reached you by March 3rd. Let me know if it already reached you. As long as you filed online, chose direct deposit, and finally, if the IRS found no problems with the return. So as long as there was no problems, no issues, you filed direct deposit, filed online, then you should receive it faster. So when will the EITC payments be received? This week in March. So here's some of the dates coming up. So to claim the EITC, you must file the 1040. And, there are different versions of it depending on your situation. Once this process is complete, payment could arrive 21 days after filing with the IRS, and the status of your tax return can be checked online. So you can check that status directly through the Where's My Refund, as well as the IRS portals and log in. Many people know where those are. So hopefully you know where that is, but you can always go to irs.gov or type in Where's My Refund, click it, make sure it's an irs.gov site, and you'll be taken to that area. So these are the dates on which you could receive your EITC payment this week, depending on when you file your taxes. So February 16th, if you filed direct deposit with the EITC, is delivered on March 9th. Did you receive yours? If you filed around February 17th, it could be March 10th. If you filed around the 18th, it could be March 11th. And each day adds a day deep into March. So now we're approaching the March 13th, March 14th, March 15th. So let's keep going. The IRS recommends that taxpayers who filed a tax return but did not claim the EITC and were eligible to do so should file an amended return using the Form 1040X. So that would be unfortunate to have filed the taxes but skipped out if you qualify for the earned income tax credit, because it definitely significantly lowers your tax liability. And of course, when you lower your tax liability, you position yourself for a larger refund, all because you lowered your tax liability. So these credits are really a big deal, but I just want you to make note of, if you have a high income but you had a business on the side, it's a good chance you could still qualify for the earned income tax credit and fatten up your refund or legally pay less in taxes. However, if you're planning to buy a home, then use it accordingly. Because, for example, say you made $60,000, but you had a business that allowed you to make some money that might have pushed you to $70,000, but it took money to make that money. And now the money that it took becomes tax deductible. because it's a good chance you probably use your phone, which can position you to have 100% of your phone bill written off. So that may be, $1,000+ for the year, $2,000 plus for the year in the form of a tax deduction. It's a good chance that you probably did some travel. Then those travel expenses could be tax deductible if you tied it to your business. It's a great chance that you drove your vehicle. Well, that mileage can be written off on your taxes, and that can save you $6,000-7,000, in a tax deduction. It's not going to be dollar for dollar, but say that $7,000 lowers your tax liability by $2,000 to $3,000, just as an example. It would be very significant. It's a good chance that you probably spend money on meals in association with your business. Those become tax deductible. So it's hundreds of tax deductions that can come along with it, but it's all based on you understanding that if you have a business, the things that you might be spending money on anyway can now become tax deductible. You making those expenses now tax deductible lowers your tax liability. If it lowers your tax liability, it can oftentimes lower your tax bracket, saving you money on taxes, and put you in a position to qualify for earned income tax credit. So you went from earning $70,000 for that year, but on paper it might look like you earned, $18,000, just throwing something out there. Well, now you qualify for the earned income tax credit. But if you try to buy a home and they see what your total net income was and they show that it's $18,000, then it'll be harder to qualify for a home. So just make sure you understand that. And a lot of times people don't tell you that. But if you already have a home, that's a whole nother story. If you're not looking to buy a home, that's a whole nother story. And now you can legally qualify for lower taxes in the form of tax deductions, tax credit, by lowering your tax liability, and ultimately positioning you to maximize your refund. Hopefully that helps. If you haven't filed your taxes, go ahead and check the links in the description showing you how to get a discount when you file your taxes and position you to get your tax refund faster, amongst getting some experts to help you if need be. That's all I got. Mr. Smith signing out. See you on the next one. Salute.